In the last lectures, we have discussed attacks on DHCP which are Discover Flooding Attack, DHCP Starvation, and Rogue DHCP Server. Let's see what countermeasures are available to mitigate the impact. Let's start with the starvation attack. It can be mitigated by configuring different security features on the LAN switch, access point, or wireless LAN controller. If the hacker sends DHCP Discover packets with different spoofed MAC addresses, the attack can be mitigated by configuring port security on the switch. This will limit the number of MAC addresses behind each port, and when a violation occurs, the admin can choose to drop the traffic or automatically disable the switch port. We had an entire lecture on port security when we discussed MAC flooding. Please watch that video again if you feel the need to recap what port security is or how it works. To prevent a DHCP starvation attack that uses DHCP requests encapsulated with the same source MAC address, so the hacker sends all DHCP requests with the same MAC address, you can enable MAC address check on the DHCP server. The DHCP server compares the client's hardware address or CHADDR field of received DHCP requests with the source MAC address in the frame header. If they are the same, the DHCP server verifies this request as legal and processes it. If they are not the same, the server discards the DHCP request. Rogue DHCP servers can be mitigated by DHCP snooping. When configuring DHCP snooping on the access switch, all ports in the VLAN will be untrusted for DHCP replies. DHCP snooping acts like a firewall between untrusted hosts and DHCP servers. You use DHCP snooping to differentiate between untrusted interfaces connected to the user and trusted interfaces connected to the DHCP server or another switch. When an attacker sends a packet like a DHCP offer that normally comes from the DHCP server on an untrusted port, that packet will be dropped and the message will be logged. In this example, I'll show you how to configure DHCP snooping on a Cisco Catalyst switch. We consider that the legitimate DHCP server is connected to port Ethernet 0/0 and no other DHCP server is allowed on the network. Okay, so in global configuration mode, I'm enabling DHCP snooping, IP DHCP snooping. Then I'll specify on which VLANs it will operate. IP DHCP snooping VLAN 1, 10, and 20. It's just an example. I'm entering the interface mode, the trusted interface, Ethernet 0/0, and I set the interface as being trust. That means that a DHCP server is allowed to connect to this port. If you want to see the configuration, you execute show IP DHCP snooping. In this example, a DHCP server is allowed only on Ethernet 0.0 port. Note that there are also tools called DHCP rogue detectors, which can be installed on your host and try to find any rogue server on the network. This solution is partial, local, and is not proactive.